Hi guys, welcome back to week 3. This is module 1 of the Nuremberg Laws and Trials. Today our objective for the lesson is that you will be able to state your opinion regarding the outcomes of the Nuremberg trials by participating in a class discussion. So we are going to be using Google Classroom discussion a lot more for this module, so be ready for that. Our language objective for today's class is use accountable talk stems to respond to classmate comments in virtual classrooms. So you're going to be using those like, I agree with so-and-so because blah, blah, blah. I respectfully disagree with this person because. Our essential question for this particular lesson is, were the punishments given to Nazis at the Nuremberg trials justified for their participation in the Holocaust? In the last few modules, we've been talking about if the Holocaust was in fact the most horrible thing to happen in human history, and now we're trying to decide of those people who participated in the Holocaust, were their punishments justified? So let's talk about what were the Nuremberg laws and what were the Nuremberg trials. Don't get them confused. We want to make sure we keep them separate. Actually zoom in a little bit more on this guy here. I think that's a little better. Okay, so the Nuremberg laws were anti-Semitic, or means like anti-Jewish, and racist laws in Nazi Germany. They were created on the 15th of September in 1935 at a special meeting convened during the annual or yearly Nuremberg rally of the Nazi Party in order to persecute the Jews. So this was a gathering of people, the Nuremberg rally, where they basically came up with ideas on how to mistreat the Jews and other minority groups. A sentence to describe this. One example of the Nuremberg Law, called Law for the Protection of German Blood and German Honor, banned Jewish people in Germany from marrying any non-Jewish German citizen. So there are varying degrees of how intense these laws are, from like owning property to getting married. And like this one, for instance, if you were married, a Jew and a German, or a non-German, in some cases, depending on like what ethnic group, you were in fact, that marriage was annulled and you could remarry somebody of a more ideal German blood. The other one that we're going to talk about is the Nuremberg trials. I think what you need to know about Nuremberg, it's a place. So like the rally happens there, the laws are created there, and the trials happen there. That's why there's so many like Nuremberg things. But the Nuremberg trials were a series of military trials held in Nuremberg, Germany, by the Allied powers, that's the United States, Britain, and France, following World War II. The goal was to try and punish high-ranking Nazi leaders responsible for German actions during World War II and the Holocaust. So they rounded up all of the Nazi officials that they could find, and they put them on trial for war crimes and crimes against humanity. The sentence here for this is many Nazi leaders decided they would avoid punishment at the Nuremberg trials by committing suicide before the trials began. Most of the high-ranking Nazi officials either fled the country or killed themselves before the trial started, mostly because they knew they had committed some pretty atrocious crimes and knew that the punishment would be pretty severe for that. All right, let's take a look at the do now. So if you want to click on this link here to follow the video about who Joaquin El Chapo Guzman is, here's a picture of him, probably not looking his best, but that is a picture of him. You're going to watch the video above and you're going to respond to the discussion questions below using sentence starters to ensure each response is typed in complete sentences. So the first question after you watch the video is, why might the United States and Mexico considered Joaquin Guzman to be such a dangerous criminal? So what in his background suggests that he is a dangerous criminal? You're going to type your response here in this box. It starts with the sentence stem that we've given you. The United States and Mexico consider Guzman to be so dangerous because. Remember, we use their last names unless we are personally acquainted with them. And my hope is that none of you are personally acquainted with El Chapo. The second one. In the video, it said many people in Mexico think of Guzman as a hero. Why might that be a problem? There's a little hint here for you to consider. Think about what would happen if people looked up to someone like this and tried to become like him. So what's the problem with thinking about somebody like Guzman as a hero? So you're going to respond to these two parts. I notice a lot of people in other modules are not fully responding to questions or typing really simple answers. Remember, we're still practicing complete sentences, complete thoughts. When people think of Guzman as a hero, it might cause, like what might it lead to? And this would lead to problems such as, so this is a two-parter. How could thinking of him as a hero lead to problems, and what might those problems be? Down below, we're actually going to do a Do Now extension activity. It's just like fairly interesting information, I think, particularly because we think of Guzman, or we hear about him often, especially here in Colorado, where he has been housed. So some other facts that we know about Joaquin Guzman. The nickname El Chapo means shorty because Guzman stands 5'6". For some like rough estimation, that's about as tall as me. So think about like, how tall am I compared to you? That's why they call him shorty. He was the former leader of the Sinaloa cartel, which the U.S. Justice Department describes as, quote, one of the most prolific, violent, and powerful drug cartels, moving billions upon billions of dollars of marijuana, cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine. If you're interested in like more information about the Sinaloa cartel, you can click on this link here. It will drop down some additional information. You can follow that to the CNN article about the Sinaloa cartel. Also notice we've highlighted some pretty important information. The world's most prolific, violent, and powerful drug cartels. That means like prolific, farthest-reaching, obviously violent and powerful. He was able to continue running the Sinaloa cartel in prison through bribes. So while he was in high security prison systems, he was still able to run the Sinaloa cartel. The Sinaloa cartel controls roughly 40 to 60% of Mexico's drug trade, with earnings at or around $3 billion annually. That's $3 billion. Again, you can find that information. You can click on the link. It will take you to another CNN article to describe that. He claimed in 2014, or it was claimed that in 2014 that he killed between 2,000 and 3,000 people as a result of drug trafficking and other just related violence. He is known for using intricate tunnel systems for both evading authorities and moving massive quantities of drugs that make the Sinaloa cartel so powerful. And according to the U.S. Treasury Department, he was considered the most powerful drug trafficker in the world. So the discussion question here relating to this like additional information and what you learned in the videos, and perhaps some of the CNN linked articles if you've read through those. The question asks, based on his action, what punishment do you think is justified for El Chapo? So to justify something, it means to show or to prove that it is right or the reasonable thing to do. So what do you think is the right or reasonable punishment that El Chapo should receive? So often I don't do this like, in my opinion, I believe. This question is asking specifically for like, what do you think? And we're gonna let you practice using like, in my opinion, I believe. So the sentence starts, in my opinion, I believe that El Chapo should be, you would met out his punishment here, should be in prison for the rest of his life, should be executed, should be set free because he's running a business that employs a bunch of people. Please don't put that, but that is an option. I say this because. So justify to me why you think that's an appropriate punishment for El Chapo Guzman. Once you've done that, I'm going to open up the next video for our language practice section.